AITA for following advices from police and organizations, which is not allowing my husband and his family to come to our apartment, and some of my reactions before that. So around a week ago, my husband 32M physically, me 28F by ch0k1 nanogram twice. This is the second time he's more physically abusive, but I never expected it escalated to that on the second time. This happened after he returned again to the apartment the evening 2 days before after agreeing for my plea to give it one more chance. I told him I will not always keep begging and talk through to save the relationship, and this is my final attempt that he actually go to psychiatrist to get medications and psychologist as suggested. If nothing improving, then it's over. He has avoidant personality disorder that he's been to therapy before meeting me and quit sometime after meeting me, and severe ADHD that I was just aware and pointed that out to him after we're about to get married, which still untreated. I admit marriage life is hard because we had so much external stress like my residence permit problem, apartment issues, money, jobs, cultural differences, etc. I can detail more about some of our marriage problems, incidents in the other post. But basically he neglected a lot of responsibilities and got us into a lot of trouble and piling debt, where I also cleaning up his mess, because he's incapable of doing so and most times also not cooperative. And he's also unhappy when I got stressed out, frustrated and confronted him about it. On top of his negligence, my mother insisted that I visit home with him, my family never see him, and paid 95% of the trip. But he's avoiding to give exact dates where he's available, and when I told him that my mother is upset because the ticket later going to be more expensive, it's been months, and he immediately said he want a divorce, saying that he doesn't even know if the relationship going to last and what will happen in the future, so he doesn't want the emotional burden to meet my family. Even though he ended up agreeing about it after his family urged him. He did again run away from home and went to his parents' house a month prior the flight, and his family didn't bother to help to talk to him too. After some drama here and there, and also we ended up missed our flight because of him, another story, which added more stress to me since I'm always the scapegoat in my family and I'm the one getting the blame, and also financially hurt our household. Not to mention, during the whole trip he acted out a lot, another story, and his dishonesty when venting to his mother, and the mother overprotectiveness that also pretty rude and hurtful when she spammed me about it. The same day we returned to Germany, we're faced with a lot of issues because of his negligence, on top of we almost missed the flight again because of him. And in 2 days I started my full-time job, finally got a job, which was physically horrendous. But he doesn't show any thoughtful gestures, or at least do bare minimum towards me. He's unemployed and also procrastinated to submit documents for unemployment benefit for 3 months already, and he can't help in the house unless I told him what to do and need to detail every single thing repeatedly. This added to more stress and pain for me. On my 4th day of working, he came to my workplace and insisted that I take the keys for the apartment because he's leaving. We did argue in the morning, but I didn't have time to talk further about it and was planning to address the situation on the evening or the next day because my shift is free. I refused and begged him to just talk it out later at home. Well, it ended up I finished my work early, went home together, and there's another reason from his negligence that impacted me too, and I lost my job due to that. I tried to talk to him the next morning. I hugged him hard, crying, sobbing, and tried to talk to him, but that's where he tried to twisted both my arms to break it, but it didn't. Work because of the positions, and he ended up pinching both my arms really hard that resulted to a very bad bruising, which later he didn't remember about it, and surprised to see my bruising the next day, told me I should go to a doctor because he thought it happened because I'm stressed. But that day he ended up staying. But on Saturday morning, when I tried to help him, he ignored me, and on top of other things, it led to serious talk and small arguments. But I can't continue to sort it out and need to leave for work. He left the house when I was at work. He returned again on Tuesday evening to pick his stuffs and planned to leave the next day. I tried to talk to him about it. That's where I also said that's my last attempt to see him getting better with medications, and I tried to ask him to stay until Thursday first because Wednesday is public holiday. So any paperwork, my unemployment, doctor etc. only open starting Thursday, because I know he has a plan with family on the weekend. He insisted he wants to leave on Wednesday or else his mother will come pick him up on Thursday because I'm kidnapping him, and overall the whole convos he was very rude, belittling. He also screamed, mocked me and called me names to the point the first time of my life I had a heartburn. These past few months I also developed gastritis due to stress from him. But at the end he acted like it's nothing, and brushed it off and flatly said, "Sorry, by the way, you need to went through all that," didn't even bother to check on me when I squatted holding my liver area due to painful heartburn, even though 10 minutes before he claimed he cares about me. He promised he will come again next week, and gave me his ID card as guarantee, which I asked for ATM card instead and gave him some cash as return. He agreed. He came back on Monday late evening, and on Tuesday evening I was working the whole day. Was my last day. I went freaking out on the phone to my mother and family due to my dog not related to him at all. The next day, he said he has doctor appointment in 40 minutes for mental sick note to job agency. I regret I didn't go with him because I know the doctor will give him a psychiatrist referral if the doctor knows he's my husband. But he went by himself, and after returned I asked him how did it go. As expected, the doctor didn't know it was him and only gave him psychologist referral and focused more about the job situation. I did ask him whether he already told the doctor everything I told him to say, so the doctor knows that he's my husband and will give the referral. He said he did, but only one didn't, which is the crucial one. I panicked. I told him I can't wait for another 2 weeks general doctor appointment because I'm scared he will relapse again by then, and asked him if he could go again or to another general doctor or something. I didn't blame him. I'm generally scared and frustrated about the doctor appointment situations here that's taking forever. But he felt that I'm blaming him. He started giving me rude responses, and want to run away again, acting he will go to another doctor. I asked him which doctor, place repeatedly, but he didn't answer, and I quickly approached him. He's already in the front door and putting on his shoes, and asked him again. But he yelled that he didn't know and will figure it out outside. For the first time ever I locked the door, because I know he can easily be extreme and in the heat of the moment vanish again rather than cool down, and told him that he could look at the doctor list here and tell me. After that I opened the door, but he proceeded to ch0k3d me. Once very short and he released, and even I coughed really hard. I tried to talk to him saying that I will open it anyway, but before I finish my sentence he ch0k3d me again. This time is a bit longer. I coughed non-stop the moment he pressed the middle of my neck, and I tried to gather my voice saying, if you want to k1ll me then so be it. That's when he stopped. He tried calling someone. I asked who he's calling. He said police because I'm imprisoning him. I said, okay, call then. But no one answered. He proceeded to text. I said, who are you texting? He said he will share to all his family that I locked him and him, which I already know how he will write it down and how his family, especially his mother, will react. I tried to stop him because I know he's unstable at the moment, and I tried to take his phone, which I managed to, so he sit down and calm down first. I tried to talk to him, and I asked his consent that I will record audio of the talk. After the talk, I gave his phone back, and he said he will go to this doctor and he needs to leave now. He did call the hospital. I was so scared because he can be rash. I asked him to leave his wallet, just like when he offered me his ID card, and he only took his insurance card. But hours later he texted me basically he's playing the victim card, he will not be returning, they will come on the weekend for picking up stuffs, no single apology, and told me I showed zero effort to make things work, saying he understand the timing was bad with my family but still I should immediately show him how serious I am saving the relationship. I was still processing what happened and the memory of his stare when he ch0k3d me just haunting me. I got urged by my friend to report this abuse, and I managed to report it. Police got through on midnight. Since we didn't know the exact date and time he will return, they asked me to not open the door when he comes again and call them, so they could come, and gave him some notice to leave. Asked here and their same response. The day before he came, he informed me, and I refused. I told him to find another time per week or I will call the police. I'm scared, and the date he chose to come is on our first wedding anniversary, which blows me more. But he refused and still came. I already informed the police about his upcoming arrival, but the response was different. They can only give the notice if another attack happened again, but told me to not open the door and call them when he arrives. Which I did, and the first 2 to 3 bells his mother texted me and demanded me to open the door, continued by threatening to call the police on me, some spam calls too. They managed to get inside the first door, someone opened it and there on the yard, his mother and little brother kept calling and yelling from there to ask me to open the door. Even threw some rocks to the window. I do feel bad, but I was waiting for the police too. When the police came, they mediated with my husband that he could only get his clothes and toiletries, other stuffs need my consent, and only him can come in. The building police were there too. Which he agreed. He managed to gather some of his stuffs, and since there's also my stuffs in his car, I didn't know where he parked. I asked him to also put my stuffs in the apartment hallway. The police told us that for that part they can't wait and need to leave soon, which we agreed. But as soon as the police left, his mother texted me again and demanded me to give more stuffs back, and when he returned to the apartment with my stuffs, his little brother also went in the building together, but he waited downstairs. I didn't want to make any fuss and closed the door every time he went upstairs. He's only in front of the door on the hallway and not coming in anyway. I tried to talk to my husband about his mother texted me and also his car issues, but I heard his brother yelling, "I don't give a F," followed by his footsteps going upstairs, and he continued with, "Crazy woman." After they left, the mother also tried to text me multiple times and gaslighted me that I'm being abusive and treating his son like my mother. She has NPD. She doesn't even know anything about mental issues, nor about her son's mental problems, never meet or talk to my mother. I did finally replied to his mother in a respectful manner because I don't want them to use this me not replying against me later, and I still see her as a mill. I don't know what she actually wants after some text exchanges. Generally I'm lost and don't know if what I did is right or wrong. If I'm being too harsh or not. I just got informed that I should also bring this matter to the court. But I don't know. I know for sure there will be no turning back after the court issue, not just divorce process, and whether I'm just overreacting because they will 100% believe so.